Hello and welcome to another edition of the program Service to Humanity, your window into the activities of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, as well as her agencies, as it carries out its mandate to develop humanitarian policies, coordinate national and international humanitarian interventions, and fight poverty, among others. I am Habiba Zakzok, your regular anchor. One of the agencies under the ministry is the Northeast Development Commission, with a mandate to assess, coordinate, harmonize, and report on all intervention programs and initiatives by the federal government or any of its ministries, departments, and agencies, states, and other development partners, and for the implementation of all programs and initiatives for the northeastern states of Nigeria. It recently validated its Northeast Stabilization and Development Masterplan. Details of this event will come up in the course of our program. We shall also continue our review to mark the ministry's third year in office. And this time, our focus shall be on the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP. Details of this and other stories coming your way shortly. Please stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. We begin the program with the Management Diary, where we bring you news on recent happenings in the ministry. On the news, federal government says efforts are on to establish Senior Citizen Center at sub-national levels, just as Minister appreciates Senate Committee on Special Duties for its continuous support to the ministry in achieving its mandates. Keep watching for details.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, has praised the Senate Committee on Special Duties for its cooperation and support to the ministry in ensuring it effectively delivers on its mandate. The minister was speaking during a visit by the Senate Committee to her ministry on Tuesday, August 30th, 2022. She called for continuous support of the committee to the ministry.
With the continued support of this very important committee of the Senate, the ministry will be able to consolidate on the gains recorded in promoting the plight of the poor and vulnerable in our country.
On budget performance and utilization of budget releases, Hajia Farouk said a total sum of 137,049,469,075 kobo, which represents 65.78% of the total amount released for overhead costs, was utilized by the ministry. She added that 46% of the total capital releases to the ministry, amounting to the tune of 350,164,965 naira 58 kobo, was utilized to finance capital projects of the ministry. While responding, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Special Duties, Senator Yusuf, urged the ministry to ensure proper monitoring and evaluation of its national social investment programs, such as the NPower and GEEP, among others.
From the feelers that we have, although you say you have monitors, some of these people don't even live in their own constituencies. They live in Abuja and they are being paid 30,000. It may be a far cry, but probably I think you might have to look into it seriously. Not so many of these, not all, let me say, all the NPower, that stay at their own station and then do the right work.
Weight of the eyes
The federal government says it's making concerted efforts to direct the domestication and establishment of the senior citizens centers at the subnational levels of the country in collaboration with state and local governments. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, made this known on Monday, August 29, 2022, while receiving a United Nations delegation led by the UN's independent expert on the enjoyment of human rights by older persons, Dr. Claudia Mahler. Hajia Farouk said presently, Nigeria has 14.9 million old persons living in the country with a growth rate of 33.2%, and that this number will grow up to 28.8 million by the year 2050. The minister explained other efforts of the federal government to look after older persons in the country.
It is also worthy to note that the Federal Executive Council in 2021 approved what we now have the national policy, which is rooted in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and other international and regional instruments, including the Madrid International Plan of Action. And the objective is to guarantee security, independence, participation, comprehensive care, self-fulfillment, and dignity of older persons in Nigeria.
While responding, the leader of the United Nations delegation, Dr. Claudia Mahler, congratulated the minister for the ministry's achievements so far. She added that she is happy with the report on the rights of older persons that she got from the ministry.
And I'm very happy to hear this report from Nigeria for a convention on the rights of older persons, because this might give not only Nigeria but many other states guidance how to best implement the human rights of older persons. And I read all your papers and your plans, and I'm really looking forward to see also the monitoring, so then we can work together and include this.
Welcome back. The program is still Service to Humanity. The Northeast Development Commission is a focal organization under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. It recently organized an event to herald the validation of the NEDC, Northeast Stabilization and Development Masterplan.
Following over a decade of damages and atrocities perpetrated by insurgents in the northeast states of Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Taraba, and Yobe, the Northeast Development Commission (NEDC) has launched the Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan to rebuild and revive economic activities in the region. The master plan was launched at the International Conference Center in Abuja on Thursday, 1st September 2022.
I wish to call on all stakeholders in the private and public sectors.
Chairman of the occasion and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, while speaking at the occasion, urged stakeholders to invest in the region as it is witnessing improved security and gradually returning to sustainable peace and stability.
At this juncture, I wish to call on all stakeholders in the private and public sectors, development partners, especially donors, to garner resources and invest optimally in the richly endowed but least exploited Northeast region. Thankfully, the region is witnessing improved security and gradually returning to sustainable peace and stability. The federal government will continue to provide the wherewithal for an enabling environment in the region to allow all stakeholders to play their complementary roles.
The chief host of the event and the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, who was represented by her Senior Technical Assistant, Dr. Umar Binder, urged all ministries, agencies and departments as well as partners to use the master plan as a blueprint in selecting their interventions for the Northeast region. The minister also advised the management and staff of the NEDC on the steps to be taken for the implementation of the master plan.
While congratulating the management and staff of the NEDC for this achievement, I will urge you to develop a robust coordination as well as monitoring, evaluation and impact assessment framework for the effective implementation of the master plan, which will assist the ministry in tracking and assessing your project.
While giving the opening remarks, the chairman of the NEDC Governing Board, retired Major General Paul Tarfa, said the creation of the NEDC to address the destruction in the Northeast region is among the best legacies of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
11 pillars of the master plan comprise all the key sectors of the region. Needs to focus for it to return to a steady path of sustainable development. The cost of implementing the master plan stands at about 31 trillion naira, which is quite ambitious.
In his remarks, the governor of Borno State and chairman of the Northeast Governors Forum, Professor Babagana Zulum, urged the Commission to communicate on intervention it is carrying out in the region with their state government to avoid duplication of activities. The governor also congratulated the NEDC on the launching of the master plan, which he described as an important milestone.
The development of Northeast Recovery and Development Regional Master Plan is perhaps the greatest achievement of Northeast Development Commission to date. This is because, if properly and strategically implemented, it will not only complement what the governors are doing in the states by investing in transformational projects, but also serve as tipping point for the transformation of the region.
The Managing Director and CEO of NEDC, Muhammad Al-Ali, on his part said the master plan was necessitated by the NEDC Act that required the Commission to develop a master plan based on the needs assessment of the zone. The MD and CEO said the master plan contains over 500 programs and schemes that would promote and facilitate the physical and socio-economic development of the zone to be implemented in 10 years spanning 2020 to 2030.
It will run from 2020 to 2030, that's 10 years, in 4 implementation phases. One is the recovery and stabilization, which will take place between 2020 and 2021. We have the renewal phase, 2022 to 2023. We have the expansion phase, 2024 to 2025, and finally, the sustainable growth phase, 2026 to 2030.
The high point of the event was the unveiling of the master plan. The Northeast Stabilization and Development Master Plan NESDMP is a 10-year master plan with a total sum of 31.01 trillion naira earmarked for it already. This amount is to be sourced from a robust partnership with humanitarian actors such as international non-governmental organizations, captains of industries and investors from across the globe.
The National Social Investment Program, NSIP, is one of the tools that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari has continuously used to tackle poverty and hunger across the country. One of the programs under the NSIP is the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP. In our next segment, and to commemorate the ministry's 3 years in office, we shall review some of the activities of the ministry with regards to GEEP. Stay tuned.
Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program GEEP predates the establishment of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, as it was first launched in 2016 with the aim to offer interest and collateral-free credits to millions of micro SMEs operating at the bottom of the Nigerian economic pyramid. On the 24th of August 2021, the second phase of the program, tagged GEEP 2.0, was formally launched in an elaborate ceremony.
With Mr. President's gracious approval for expansion.
While speaking at the launching in 2021, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajiya Sadiya Umar Farouk, explained that GEEP 2.0 has been restructured for greater efficiency.
With Mr. President's gracious approval for expansion to provide loans to an additional 1 million beneficiaries with emphasis to targeting smallholder farmers in the year 2020-2021, the GEEP has been restructured and is being flagged off today as GEEP 2.0. The GEEP 2.0 is structured to effectively deliver soft loans and skills to a wide range of unemployed citizens, including persons living with disabilities, marginalized women, and unemployed youth, among other vulnerable groups in our society.
Following the partnership between the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, and the National Orientation Agency towards achieving the objectives of GEEP, a Train the Master Trainers workshop was also held in Abuja in August 2021. Following these developments, registers were opened in all local governments across the country for beneficiaries to register for the intervention. As a follow-up to this, the National Orientation Agency, an implementing partner of the GEEP 2.0, organized a review meeting in its office in Abuja. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Dr. Garba Abari, while speaking, said the review meeting was necessary to help address the challenges that were encountered during the implementation of GEEP 2.0 program and to highlight ways to make the next process hitch-free.
But there are issues that came up, and these are issues which we have to lay on the table for both sides to see and to address. Number one is the issue of conflicting directives from the ministry, which keeps actually coming all through, and this conflicting directive actually has also impacted on the way and manner in which state focal persons, COMOS, the state directors, the ministry, the headquarters of the NOA, all should have interacted.
The National Coordinator, Dr. Umar Binder, on his part, highlighted some of the challenges encountered in the course of assessment of proper implementation of the GEEP 2.0 program and efforts put in place for actualization.
We've already indicated when GEEP 1.0 or GEEP was implemented under His Excellency's office, the Office of the Vice President, it was only Bank of Industry. And I think it was very convenient. Just get an institution, drop the program there, and just leave it like that. Whatever happens, you have somebody to answer. But getting it institutionalized in that way will become different, because you have Bank of Industry has its own mandate, and then you bring another program, there will be some issues to do with instability. So moving it to the ministry, and we were directed strictly to ensure that we institutionalize this.
At the end of the event, Fatiha Askedering, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Enlightenment, spoke on the significance of the partnership with NOA and how far it has come.
The NOA has been a very worthy partner in this work that we're doing. NOA has presence in all the 774 local government. So we leverage on that partnership to make sure that GEEP reaches all the LGAs in this country.
The federal government of Nigeria established the NSIP programs.
Apart from the engagement with NOA and in order to rejig the efforts to meet the objectives of the GEEP program, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development held an advanced training on digitization and registration for program managers and master trainers. Speaking at the event on behalf of the Humanitarian Minister, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program, NSIP, Engineer Umar Binder, challenged participants to ensure effective execution of their duties in order to achieve the aims and objectives of the GEEP program.
You have the great-grandfather who was poor, who has never seen tap water in his life, never seen an electricity switch, and he died at the age of 94. Never seen these things. He left something like, because there's no control, 8 children or 10, all of them poor, never seen electricity and water. Some are alive, some have died. Out of those 9 children, they have had something like 20 or 30 great-grandchildren or whatever. They're running around in the villages without shoes. They have only one dress. They eat the same food. They grew up with big tummy like this. They climb palm tree with their feet. You tend to wonder how. Poverty has cascaded. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation. And then you are expected to work at this generation to solve the problem.
After a lot of planning, enumeration for GEEP 2.0 commenced for potential beneficiaries of the program. Potential beneficiaries laud the process, describing it as transparent while enumerating how the loans, when released, will benefit them.
Na zo na ji sanarwa ne an bayar a church cewa wani organization za su zo local government namu.
I heard the information at church that some organizations are visiting our local government in which they will be giving intervention or loans to those that need it. So I decided to go because my business need cash, which I don't have. I applied, hoping God will help me so that I can boost my business. If I get this loan, it will help my life because things will not be hard again.
If I get the loan, I will use the money and buy tailoring materials. And when I get paid by the customer, I will save the money.
However, the federal government has now officially rolled out GEEP 2.0. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, officially launched the national phase of the program in Katsina State, where she noted that the program would be replicated in all the states of the Federation. She added that with the rollout of the program, disbursement of loans would begin in all the states of the Federation.
Looking at what the ministry has achieved in the last 3 years, one can say that the ministry is not only fulfilling its mandate, but also actualizing its vision, which is to create sustainable and inclusive social systems that promote human dignity in Nigeria. On that note, we end this week's edition of Service to Humanity. Please do remember to send in your questions and suggestions to any of our social media platforms, or kindly drop a message on the ministry's page on Facebook or Twitter. See you next week.